There's no getting away from it, but currently the popular fashion for people who like the outdoors is to own or consider owning a small campervan. And I'm one of those people. For years now I've considered how good it would be for me as a business, as an artist and a photographer, to go out and have the versatility of having a small campervan where I could sleep, cook and have as my base while I'm out working in the outdoors. Recently I was able to go out and buy a small vehicle and adapt it for my purposes. Now most of the time I go out on my own with the dog, so I don't need a double bed, and there were certain criteria that I wanted inside my vehicle. Now all in all I was able to do this conversion for £1,100, which is remarkable. I was really impressed with it myself. And because the vehicle I bought was an MPV, it had 7 seats in it, I took those rear 5 seats out, sold them on eBay with some carpet and other interior fittings, and it meant that by the time I got that money back in all, I have outlaid only £800 to do this conversion. So I'll show it to you and you can have a look and see what I've done. You can adapt the ideas, get inspiration, and all in all I'm really impressed with it. It may need a few bits of fine-tuning, but as I've only just recently finished it, I can adapt the vehicle to my own purposes and make any fine adjustments that I want later on. And this is the vehicle that I've gone for. It's a Nissan NV200. It's the Combi version, which means that it had 7 seats altogether, like a people carrier. But that version, the advantage to that is that it has the windows all around the sides, as well as having a very large tailgate. The commercial vans have 2 doors at the back, barn doors they're called, and they open like this. Whereas I wanted the proper tailgate, which would give me shelter from rain when I'm putting the dog in and changing my boots and things like that. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, it's a nice little vehicle, 1500cc, and I find it really comfortable to drive, and you're also quite high up. It's only 4.4 meters long, and it fits easily in a standard supermarket car park. And as you can see, it's not very high, probably just about 6 feet. I was lucky to get it. It had very low mileage and it was just right for my needs. I had looked at getting a VW transporter like a lot of people get, but I felt it was just probably too big for what I wanted, and everyone's got one of those, and they're also very expensive. This was probably £5,000 or £6,000 cheaper than the equivalent VW transporter. So I'll show you around, both on the outside and the inside. It's very nice, it's very simple. Some people may feel it's too small for them, but that's fair enough. I've chosen this because it's something that I wanted. You'll notice it hasn't got an elevating roof at this time. I am considering whether I need one or not, and they would cost about £2,500, and I think at the minute it may be just a luxury that I don't need. I have been away in this vehicle as it is converted for a couple of nights away and given it a test run to sleep in and to cook and things, and I'm actually not too sure whether I need an elevating roof or not, but we'll see. The option's there if I need it. It's got 2 sliding doors behind the passenger and driver's seats. This is the one obviously on the driver's seat, and you can see the back of my cooker unit there with the door open. And then round the back you can see it's got that really nice tailgate. And I think it looks pretty smart. Not big, just indiscreet and easy to park up. Nice little vehicle. Suits me. So let's look at the inside. As I said, I've designed this specially for myself. I go away a lot on my own, take my dog, that's him sitting in his dog bed obviously. So I specially made an area for him to be in all time. That's his bed, he likes it there and he's comfortable, knows his place. I'll just run through some of the details that I've done. I've carpet lined the whole vehicle myself and put new panels in instead of the Nissan standard panels. At the front I've converted the passenger seat to be a captain's chair so that it swivels. I'll show you that in a minute. And that means that my feet, when I'm sleeping, will be down that far end, and this top end of this cupboard is my bed. This is the head end of the bed, and there's a middle section for putting a mattress on, or actually these cushions, so that I've got my bed. The bed measures just under 2 meters in length, so plenty of room for me. That's allowed me to move the bed down that way and give me the space to put my rucksacks and my boots, and then I store my painting easel and other bits and pieces in there. On this side I've made a small cupboard. I'll show you the inside of that in a minute. And on the end of the storage unit I fit my tripods and things like that. Very handy storage space. Just inside here you can see that I've adapted the panels on the side to make little compartments to put spare little things in, and I've also moved the standard Nissan speakers away from the side of the vehicle and put them at the very end here on the door pillars. On the tailgate, what I've done is, that's just a carpet covered ply, and I have adapted that so I can store bits and pieces on there, including the poles for the awning and then the legs for the table, which you may have seen a minute ago. So inside, the interior cupboards I designed and made myself. They don't come from kits. In fact, the materials are from IKEA. All of the cabinets and everything are made from IKEA kitchen doors, and they are IKEA worktops along the top. The cooker unit, as you can see, has the cooker on top. The middle drawer has a utensil box and cutlery box, and the bottom has the gas and my pots and pans. I have made the unit so that it can be unclipped and brought outside if I want to cook out in the open air. It's been great to use it like that. At the end there you can see a top which is stored away behind the driver's seat, and that has two purposes. It serves as the middle platform for my bed at night time when it's supported on just very short legs, and then if I want to I can bring it outside and use the longer table legs on it to have as an outside dining table. Inside I have a sink, and there's my sink with the tap with fresh water. The water is stored in the cupboard underneath along with the wastewater which runs out from the sink, and that's my, let's call it, kitchen cabinet. You can see I have toilet roll and washing up liquid and things in there. I've left a gap here between the two cupboards because the top worktop of the cooker unit comes off, and it can be stored in here if I'm not going to use it as a table, and at the minute I've got the table outside. It doesn't store in there during transit, just purely while I'm using the cooker. And here at the back I have the storage cupboard which you saw from the rear of the vehicle. In there I store my clothes, some of my art materials, my things like my wash bag and things, and here's my food area, and I store not only my food in there but also a box with the dog food in it. At the front is a spice rack, and on there I store my tea, coffee, milk and sugar and salt and pepper, all neatly set in there. And you can see that I've fitted a combination carbon monoxide and smoke alarm. I opted not to have a leisure battery system because I'm not one of these people who goes away and sits and watches a DVD at night or listen to the radio very much. I will sit outside and paint or draw, and then on an evening I can use a head torch or something to read a map. But I do have lights throughout the vehicle, these little lights here, to see if they work. There we are, you can see that one. I have two of those, and they are rechargeable. I can recharge those off a power block or a USB charger. I have two of those, and they really do light up the inside of the... In fact, I only need one on at night time, and they really do light up the vehicle at night. And I also have one of these. It's very simply just a little clip-on rechargeable reading light, and that's great because at night time ideal for me to use to read a map or to do a little bit of sketching or drawing. One disadvantage without having a leisure battery is that I don't have a fridge that will keep running overnight. But what I do have is a very small fridge here. There is only me, remember, so I have a small fridge, and this fits between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. You can see it in there. It's 4 litres, and there's plenty of room in there for me to store milk or butter or bacon, and that's connected up to the 12-volt car system when we're travelling along, and with a few freezer blocks in there, it keeps all the stuff I need chilled overnight. So that's been a great little asset to have without going daft with having a big fridge. Just down behind the driver's seat there's a small compartment. I've made a little cubby hole door for that, and that stores things away out of sight. And under the passenger seat I've done the same thing, made a small panel, and behind there are the 4 small table legs which fit on that platform base to form the middle section of my bed at night time. The floor is simply a vinyl floor laid on a plywood base with some insulation, all nicely finished off with this strip edging. And as you can see, we've done a bit of a colour coordination thing with the cushions of the seat, and I'll just show you in here at the back. My wife's very good at making things, and what we've done is we've made our own design of curtains, which at night time just fold down, all held in place by Velcro, lined with the blackout material in the matching material to match the seats. And it's as simple as that, and I'm doing it one-handed, and all of the windows have that sort of curtain. As you can see, the blackout material is actually reflective, almost like silver, but it's also thermal, so it keeps heat in or heat out, whichever you want. And it matches the cushions of the bed or seat. That was a good design, that. Very pleased with those. Earlier I did mention the captain's seat, so I'll show you how simple that is to operate. And it's simple as that. It's really comfortable for sitting on an evening, plenty of room. I can sit here with the table in front of me and have something to eat, or draw, or look at my maps, read books. And at night time, using this platform here, I put my feet on this part of the seat. The middle platform forms the central part of my bed, and the top end is where I put my head. Very simple. And the nice thing about it is, with just being a single bed, I can just put my feet out at the edge of the bed. There's room to put my shoes and socks on, or if I want to, I can open any of the cupboard doors and access the stuff inside, so I can cook myself breakfast or make a cup of tea or something like that. I realise that this adaptation of a vehicle isn't to everyone's taste. Someone will want a lot bigger, someone will want to spend a lot more money, but I didn't. I wanted to do it for myself, for the purpose that I need my campervan. Remember, it's just myself and the dog most of the time. If I did want to take my wife with me, she could have the bed, and I have my wild camping tent stored in the box anyway, and I can just put the tent outside and sleep in the tent, and then everything else happens here. There are some features which I haven't covered in this short film, such as the awning, which is very simple, cost less than £50. I'll show you that later. It also doubles as a wild camping tarpaulin. And if you would like to see how I've done this conversion, then do watch this channel, because you will see films of every stage of the conversion of this Nissan NV200 from start to finish. And hopefully it'll explain how I've done certain elements of the conversion that you may wish to adapt yourself or take inspiration from. In the future, I'll be posting more films up showing my campervan adventures as I'm out and about, travelling around the country, painting and sketching and taking photographs and making films about my walks. So do keep an eye on this channel or links to my proper website, Andy Beck Images. Thanks for watching.